Stonespine Architects. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today we'll be going over Stonespine Architects and how it plays with 2 players. Now, Stonespine Architects is a 1 to 4 player game where you will be kind of the bad guy putting together your dungeon. Everybody's going to start off with a plan. They're going to try to meet to score extra victory points. Along the way, you're going to get some of the gold cards. You're going to pick up traps. You're going to pick up monsters. You're going to pick up victory points and chests and put them all throughout your dungeon, all while trying to maximize your 4x4 grid and maybe even connect a line from the entrance to the exit, and whoever has the most points after the 4 rounds, during each round you're going to play 1 card. Whoever has the most points after the 4 rounds wins the game. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So in Stonespine Architects, it is a card drafting kind of game where you're going to be building out your dungeon. But at the start of the game, you're going to have this blueprint card. This is going to kind of give you your overall blueprint of the game. It's going to show you, oh, I want a cave here. Oh, I want a castle section here. I need a certain monster in this part of my dungeon, if you will. The icons are fairly easy to read, and that's great. Also, along the way, at the end of every turn, you're going to pick up some of these challenge cards. These will get you extra points. So you have the overall blueprint card, which is something to work towards, and these challenge cards you're going to pick up throughout the game. There's also an overall goal card where amongst all the players, you want to be the one who fulfills their gold card the most. But on your turn, you're going to start off with a hand of cards, and you're going to choose one to put down into your dungeon. Now, you only have 1 slot to put it in, so you start off with the top row, and you need to put it in one of those 4 slots. You're going to play that card and pass these cards, the rest of the cards, around the table until you fill up all 4 slots of your first row. Once that's done, you're going to count the number of coins at the bottom of each one of these cards plus the amount of treasures. That's how many coins you're going to get at the end of the turn. And that is how much you can spend on some of these extra little doodads, if you will. Some may have traps. Some may have little monsters you can get. Some may have treasures or victory points. This helps you fill out some of the parts of the dungeon that you may not have. Each dungeon tile, each dungeon card, you can have 4 icons in there, so you can add things to your dungeon, which is going to cost you some of the money at the end. And whoever wants to end their turn, whoever wants to stop spending their money, can pick up one of these challenger cards, and that's how you kind of gather those. You're going to have 3 challenger cards at the end of the game. You're going to have your blueprint card, your vault card, and hopefully by after those 4 rows, after those 4 rounds, you kind of tally up the most points. You look at how well you planned out your dungeon, and if you can score the most amount of points by also having connecting rooms on your entrance and exit, and whoever just has the most points will win the game. But really it is a card drafting, put in your dungeon, pass them around, trying to fulfill all the things you kind of want to get the most victory points. At the end of the round, buy a couple extra tiles, get a challenge card, and all while trying to get those true victory points. So let me just tell you a little bit more what I thought about the game. So the rules and references, the rules really are easy. I really liked how this rule book was laid out. I thought it was just great all around. I have nothing bad to say about this rule book. The references, everything's on this card. Final scorings on the back. The play sequences over here. It even tells you setup on this little reference card. The references to this game are really great too. So the rules and references are great. The components are just fine. They give you these cards. That's going to be your dungeon. It's fun to put out these kind of the chits, if you will, for these different traps, for the different chests and monsters. They're all face down, so when you put out cards, you put out even more. And as far as the components go, what I like about this game, it comes with a great little extra thing for setup. Everything fits in this box. They give you a place for everything. I love all the components with this game as well. Talk about setup and table size. Well, as I just alluded to, setup is easy with all these component trays. It really is a snap. You can get it together in 5 minutes, get this off the shelf, easy to play. As far as table size goes, you don't really need too much. I'd say your play area is probably about, 15 inches by about 12 inches or so, and it can definitely be played on a 3x3. So how is the gameplay in this one? I do have this gameplay set up as a solo game because after my wife and I played a few games, I did want to try the solo mode out because it was just so easy to play. We could play these games in 30 to 45 minutes, easy. But it was fun just to draft. It was fun to put one in my dungeon. In the 2-player game, you discard one, you draw another one to kind of refresh, simulate a little bit of the passing around if you had more players. But with more players, this is going to play just as fast. I liked, choosing the card, the simultaneous play of putting it down and then kind of seeing what the other person was doing. Do you need to try to, stick them with something they may not want? Nobody wants this room that goes side to side. However, the gold cost may be up there and you may get more gold at the end of the round if you can put that in. Looking at the traps and looking at these, the market that you can buy at the end of the round. Determining if the other player is going to go for a high money round and try to snag something that you need, especially for that blueprint card that you really need to try to hit to maximize your points. It's just a fun overall quick game. I love card drafting games. If everybody's played with me, I know that guys at Dads and Dice have. I just love card drafting. I think it's fun to pick something, pass the rest to your friends, and it's just a neat mechanic because of how quick those games usually play. Building your dungeon, by the end of the dungeon, you feel like you've made something. You're trying to kind of just piece everything together. Yes, it is a point salad, but this is a fun point salad. Trying to make sure I have an entrance and an exit to my dungeon and connected to as many rooms, many other cards as I can to try to fulfill, my blueprint card, to try to fulfill my challenge cards to get the maximum points. I'll try to fill the overall goal card. Do I want to end the game with the most money? It is a point salad game, but at the end of the game, I built something. The person across the table from me built something. We all built something a little bit different. We had our own challenges. There's these staircases you can put in between rooms that add an extra pathway. There's these traps. You can make some interesting combos. Do you take a card with not very much money, but they have really nice symbols on it? Or do you try to maximize the money, but the card itself is a little bit iffy and it just doesn't fit your dungeon well? But I need that card right now, so the other person may not be able to take it. Just a really neat gameplay. This isn't usually my style of game. I usually like those big, heavy, kind of thinky games, really thematic. But this has a lot of theme in it, even though it is point salad. So is this game good for 2? And I really do like this game for 2. It plays quick. You draft your card, the other person drafts their card, you discard one, you draw an extra one, and you pass it around. At the end of the turn, you're only going to have you have one spot left and 2 cards to look at. You have to put one of them down. It just gives you that thinking of I need to take this card now because I may not see it again. I just like the card drafting. I think they did the card drafting really well with 2 players. It is really tight too. On these challenges, I really want one of them, but I can also see the opponent wants one of them. So I can end my turn after I've placed all 4 cards. If you have more, whoever has more money gets kind of the initiative, if you will. You can either buy from the market or end your turn and take a challenge card. And it really does strike a great balance, especially the goal card, the blueprint. It's just a really fun, fast game with 2 players. Everything's well laid out. I could take this off the shelf and play it within no time. I did enjoy the solo as well, by the way. I thought this was a very quick, easy solo game, but gave me enough challenge with enough extra little challenge to be just a good game in the future. So a lot of choice in this game, a lot of fun, a lot of, This game just kind of had it all. I really didn't expect this with this game. Once again, this is normally not a game I gravitate to. Usually I just gravitate to a little bit heavier games, or a little bit games with more, usually more theme, a little bit of randomness. But this does have the randomness, and it really does have the theme built into it. So I really was unsure about this game until we got it on the table. And we really enjoyed this game. Like I said, I've really enjoyed the solo. I'd play it again in a heartbeat, and I'd even play this game at more than 2 players because I think it would play just as fast, easy to teach. So that's my review on Stonespine Architects. Maybe not. It won't ever break into my favorite games I've played, but man, this is a good, solid game, and I've really enjoyed my time with Stonespine Architects. This is for sure staying in the collection.